It is the star of the show, straight from the silver screen, the cinema sickness, the Hollywood horror, Lexi Gomez. And you're listening to OTS Project.
And that's what I said. Why would you give me the peanuts if you didn't love me? So, whatever that means for her. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
You're so funny, man. You're so funny.
Welcome back to the OTS Project, episode 21. We are here, Mr. Theo.
Hello.
What's going on?
Man, it has been a very boring week, work-wise. I feel like there's just been not much going on in terms of work. I've been watching a lot of this Wrestlemania for the pod topic, obviously. But last night I was hanging out with a friend. We went to the pool. We had pizza. We were having a good time. We were relaxing. And then we went home and we watched Scream 1, which neither of us have ever seen before.
There we go.
And I very much so enjoyed it. I thought that was a very good movie. And
yeah.
I'll probably be watching the other ones sometime soon.
But I know we were supposed to watch them and then we just kind of didn't get around to it. But you can see in my background, I have a Scream mask. I am not, you know this, I am not a horror person. I'm not into scary movies. But I can handle like a slasher film because it's not, I don't like jump scares. And slasher films have them, but a lot of slasher films, it's very like preempted. You could tell where the jump scare's coming.
Right.
And I don't like a lot of like demented stuff. So like things like The Conjuring and things like that, I'm not watching. That's not my vibe. The stuff that when they promote like trailers and they're like people's hearts stopped in the theater and they had to be carried out to their death, I'm like, I'm good. I don't care to see that. I'm good. So yeah, I could watch like a slasher film. Scream is definitely my favorite, as you can see the Scream mask back there. I love it so much. I love the ghost face in general. Like just the design is so simple but so iconic, and I just like the whole idea that all the movies have like a movie theme to them and are kind of like the whole franchise is kind of like a joke on movies and stuff like that in general. So I just love that. So yes, you are definitely gonna have a lot of fun with these movies. They are fun. They're not all great like most franchises. There are a lot of shitty ones. But in general, even the shitty ones are still fun because people are getting killed. And I also love about Ghostface is I think out of like between him or Michael or Jason or anybody, like Michael and Jason are so big that they're like they can't like they don't get hit, and when they do get hit, they just kind of like take a knee. Not Ghostface. When Ghostface gets hit, it's a normal person. When Ghostface gets hit, that man is doing a corkscrew bump.
He got hit by like a door or like a cabinet or something like that. I just started dying laughing. I'm like, this is amazing.
It is so funny. I love it. Yeah, because it's just practically a normal person every time.
He's just a guy.
So he just is like taking backflip bumps off of a garage, running into a garage door, and it is so
like
funny.
Falling down stairs and stuff.
Yes, I love it. It's so good. So yeah, I love Scream. So I'm glad that you are watching them, for sure. Anything else you got going on this week?
I feel like that's probably it. I've been getting back a little bit into writing because I've been out of it for a good many months now, but I'm starting to get back into it. So that's pretty fun. But
Nice.
other than that, yeah, that's all my week's been.
Yeah, I haven't done too much myself. Just been hanging out. Just been literally just hanging out. I haven't really even watched anything. I don't know. I'm kind of foggy, so I feel like anything I may have done, it slipped my mind right now. But it was just this was just a normal weekend of life, I guess, for both of us. There wasn't anything too crazy going on. I will say though, Wednesday I hung out with my friend Miss Lexi Gomez. That was fun. We went to the movies and to get some food, so we went and got some sushi, and then we were gonna see Hurry Up Tomorrow, which is the weekend's movie, but this must be a indicator of how well this is doing at the box office because it's been out for like 2 weeks and it's already only got one showtime, and the showtime is like 9:00 at night. So we had to call an audible, couldn't go see that, so we went and saw Lilo and Stitch instead of the new live action Lilo and Stitch. So my quick review on that is, it was fun. It was good. It was Lilo and Stitch. There's nothing more I could say to it. It's kind of like how The Lion King was, where we both were like, yeah, it was fine. It was good because it was just The Lion King. It was just a different visual, but it was just The Lion King. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I will say there was in Lilo and Stitch there was definitely like a few things that were changed compared to the Lion King. That movie was just like legit a copy and paste. We said it when we walked out of the theater, right? This wasn't. It was almost 1-to-1, but there were a few changes. There were a few things that were a little different, but in general, yeah, it was pretty much almost exactly like the animated. I do still prefer the animated. I think it just looks better. There's this issue that I've seen a lot of people talk about with a lot of Disney movies, but also a lot of movies in general. A lot of movies in general these days look very just dull, very gray. For some reason that carries over. I feel like that's my only kind of big issue is that this movie is set in Hawaii, and Hawaii is a very beautiful, tropical, colorful place. Lots of colors and lots of, just beautiful in general. And this place almost looked a little dull because for some reason they just have to like put a gray hue on everything.
Right.
So that was my biggest gripe, is that Hawaii. This movie should almost be like a come to Hawaii kind of video. Like, it should make you want to go to Hawaii because it's so beautiful and it's so tropical. And I don't know, it looked like Tampa Bay, like a beach in Tampa. Like, it didn't really look too tropical to me. But in general, the movie was good, and hanging out with Lexi was also great. I haven't seen her in a while, so hanging out with her and catching up was great. So that was kind of the biggest thing I did this week. Yeah, we got a lot of news and discussion to go over this week, so let us dive right into it. The first one that made me and Theo laugh, and I believe it was actually announced right before we started recording last week, or something like that, where Money in the Bank 2026 will be taking place August 29th in Las Vegas. And what makes it funny is that there was all this discourse about or was it Las Vegas? It was Louisiana, right?
It was
Oh God.
Yeah, it was Louisiana, New Orleans.
Louisiana,
Yeah.
my bad. Right. Louisiana. And what makes it funny is that there's all this discourse about WrestleMania not being in Louisiana next year as it was originally, I guess, intended to, and it's going back to Las Vegas. And we were just kind of laughing about it because it felt like the makeup for it was to put Money in the Bank in Louisiana August 29th of next year. But in the video that Triple H did, he did say, stay tuned for news about a WrestleMania that's coming to Louisiana. So I guess we're getting that at some point. So yeah, that's something. But as well, Evolution 2 has officially been announced. Will be taking place July 17th of this year. I believe it's almost a triple shot. I think there's NXT, Great American Bash. There is a Saturday night's main event, and then the next day is Evolution 2. So I'm excited for that. That's gonna be fun. The first Evolution was great. Maybe we'll have to sneak in a review at some point before, because I don't think you ever watched it.
I definitely didn't watch it. No.
Yeah. So I think we might have to watch it real quick before the second one. But the first one was great. It was really fun. Trick Willie Wonka is the new TNA champion, the first, I believe, contracted WWE star to hold a championship in TNA. Good for him, man. I'm very happy for him. We love Joe Hendry, and I don't think this doesn't hinder Joe Hendry at all. But I think it was worth it. I know some people were not happy about it. I think it's great, because you needed something for Trick Williams to do if he's ready for the main roster, but there may not be space on the main roster at the moment, So you needed something for Trick Williams to do other than crashing out over the NXT Championship, which he's already been doing for like the past year. So yeah, I just think it's great, and it's history. It hasn't happened yet, so I think it was a great idea. And again, congratulations to Mr. Trick Williams. But in some other title change news, the biggest for me, JC Jane is the new NXT Women's Champion, defeating Stephanie Vaquero this past Tuesday to secure the championship. This one's big for me because people may know, people may not know. She is a friend of mine. I worked with her. I've literally watched this girl from day one. I was there her first day of training in good old Newport Richie. I was there her first day of training. So I literally have watched her from training. She started wrestling. When she started wrestling, I was booking the weekly Proving Ground shows, so I was booking her every week. She got a concussion at some point, and she was going to kind of like stop wrestling. And then at some point she decided, like, I guess fuck that, once she got cleared and came back. So I have literally been there since day one with this girl, watching her grow, watching her go through all these different things. And I've always been proud of her. When she got signed, I congratulated her. When she won the tag titles, I congratulated her. So yeah, I made sure to send her a nice text on Tuesday. And she was really close with my dad as well, and so I kind of just told her I wish that my dad was here to see this, and she kind of said he's watching from above. I know he saw it, and I know he's proud of me. To add to it, here's the action figure I pulled off the wall. I'm a big fan of JC Jane. I got her first shirt, her first solo shirt. I got the figure. I have the figure here, and I have the figure loose. This one eventually, when I just catch up with her at some point, I do plan on getting this signed by her with a nice little message on it. So yeah, that was big for me. I did not expect it. I just figured it's a random title match on a Tuesday, and I was watching NXT the whole time, and then as the main event started, I had to go do something, so I actually went downstairs. And as I was doing something, I then caught up talking to my mom, so I was downstairs for a while. So as I was going back upstairs, I checked my phone, and Elias had sent me a Instagram message that just said "Holy fuck," and I was like, "Oh shit, what happened?" And then I saw the Instagram reel of her winning the title, and I got super excited. Punched the damn. I had to go to the bathroom. I punched the damn bathroom door open because I was just so hyped. So yeah, I'm really excited for her. I hope it's a nice long title reign that they planned for her, and not kind of a transitional one. Yeah, I'm super excited. I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that, because you also have worked with her.
I have worked with her a little bit more, mainly through an extension of you. But I mean, obviously, we were obviously in like the same locker room together all the time. I feel like we were all just a part of like one little clique there, and that was always super fun. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a similar situation where like we were always in that same locker room. We were always watching like each other's matches and whatnot, and so we were always just like trying to like support each other and whatnot. So seeing her like grow, especially like this fast, because it may just be like COVID threw off my entire like life timeline, but like I feel like I'd have like very clear and vivid memories of like all of us hanging out and whatnot in the like back in the locker room and stuff like that. And now just seeing her being like the new NXT champion, which also was a very big surprise to me. Because I mean, I always figured that one day or another she would be NXT Women's Champion. Like I didn't have it down in my mind about that because she is just that good. But this quickly did very much so surprise me, and I am very also kind of proud of her as well, because I think that's an incredible achievement to be made there.
I have as you were saying that when we were all in the locker room, I just remembered I have a video I'll have to find where Brandy Lauren, we were in a locker room, and Brandy Lauren had she had some stupid joke she wanted to do, and she did it on JC Jane, but we were all, it was like you, me, Omar, Cody Castle, and like a few other people were all watching this.
Is this the phone joke?
Yes.
I
that's
think one of my favorite locker room memories, bro. Oh my god.
I think she was trying to play it off as, oh, I want to show you guys a magic trick. I think that's what she was trying to say.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And it was the stupid, everybody kind of knows it. It's like you get the other person to say wing, 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 and then you just pick up the phone and go hello. That was the whole thing Brandy Lauren did to Miss JC Jane there. And we were all watching, and in the video you can hear Omar just crash out. And even me, I'm like, come on, bro, like what are we doing?
Funny. She said hello, the room fell silent for like a whole second, and then everybody in that group just started yelling at her.
Yeah, that was great. And there's another memory real quick that I remember. We did Kaiju Big Battle, and you, me, and Dr. Eric Christopher were Dr. Cube's minions.
Yep.
And JC Jane was the Bear Power Ranger character that they have. And the idea was that we were taking over the show. And it was something like we were taking over the show. And as we're taking over the show, the heroes come to save the day. Mainly the Bear Ranger, who was Miss JC Jane. And I just remember they said to us, like, okay, she's going to come out. She's going to, like, do a little pose or whatever. And then she's going to get in the ring. And basically she's going to, she's just going to bump the minions to get to Dr. Cube. You, me, and Eric are the minions. I don't bump too often. I think this was like the first or second bump you had ever taken. And Eric,
this is one of my first ever bumps.
And Eric hadn't done anything in like a year or two at that point. And so she comes in, and she had like this plastic wand. And I don't know how it was for you, but for me, she smacked the shit out of me with that wand, bro. She like bonked me on the head. She bonked me on the head, and it was like the hardest hit I've ever had in my life from my friend dressed as a Bear Power Ranger. And I just remember like hitting the floor and being
because
like,
that happens so often.
Ow. Right? Yeah, I just remember hitting the floor being like, mother effort, bro. Why did she hit me so hard?
I don't think it hurt for me. I feel like it was pretty fine.
Okay. She must have knew. Okay,
She
that
must
one's
have had
Jack.
some sort of like revenge vendetta against you or something.
Something, right? Yeah, maybe. There's probably a good amount of people that have that against me. But yeah, I just remember being like, "Why the hell she hit me so hard? Ow!" So yeah, those are some quick. Oh, another one too. Sorry. WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans. Me and my dad were there doing shows and whatnot, and then last minute we obviously went to the show, and this is when she had stopped wrestling for like a year or whatever, and I was like trying to get to my seat because the show was about to start, and my dad was like calling. I was like up the stairs, and he was still in like the little tunnel or whatever, and he was like calling me, and I'm like, "What does he want, bro? Like the show's about to start." And I looked down, and I just saw her with a beer in her hand and a big smile on her face, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Because I hadn't seen her in like a year, so I ran down there and gave her a big hug, and she was super excited to see us, and we talked for a little bit. And so that also is kind of crazy that she was there as a fan at WrestleMania, had stopped wrestling, was just there as a fan just to have fun, and now look where she is. So it's pretty cool, and it's really inspirational. If anything, if you got a dream, go for it.
I don't remember exactly, but I feel like she was there because I feel like when we went years ago, I think it was like 2022, to the Jonas Brothers concert. Did we like run into
Holy
her and Troy
shit.
afterwards?
We
'Cause
did.
I feel like
we
I
did.
remember that happening.
We did. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, that was another thing. We went. It was like 2021, 2022. We went to Jonas Brothers in Tampa. Obviously, Jonas Brothers is a big thing for our childhood, so we had to go. It was you, me, your dad, your mom, and then my mom and my aunt were there, but they were like in another section. Yeah, we were. I totally forgot about that. We were leaving the show, and I saw someone that looked strikingly like Troy Hollywood, who is JC Jade's boyfriend, and a good friend of mine. Yeah, I saw someone that looked strikingly like Mr. Troy Hollywood, and I was like, it can't be. And then I think as I was like, it can't be, they like turned a little bit, and I could just see their faces, and I was like, oh shit, it's them. So we went up and talked to them, and we're like, yo, what's going on? And I remember JC Jane just being, she's in NXT at the time. She had been there for like a year. And I just remember her being like, Indy Hartwell's here. Did you see her? And I was like, I don't know Indy Hartwell, so... like, I don't know. She must have thought, like, I know Indy Hartwell like that. I'm friends with her, too. And so she's like, Indy's here. Did you catch up with her? And I'm just like, I've never even met Indy Hartwell, so I don't know. It would have been great. I've heard Indy Hartwell's a really cool person. Would have been cool as hell. But I just thought it was funny where I was like, I do not know that person at all, so I wouldn't be catching it. I'd probably just be like, oh, Jack, look, it's Indy Hartwell, and then we would continue to move on with our night.
And I'd be like, who?
Right. Yeah, I totally forgot about that, so that's another fun memory. So, yes, congratulations to JC Jane. I'm very proud of her. If she's watching, which I know she's not, I'm very proud of you. And I think it's just up and up here, especially even, I don't know what's going to happen with the title. I don't know if she's going to have this long reign or if it's just going to be a short thing to get on to somebody else. But I do feel like no matter what, it's time. When she drops the title, I feel like the only other place to go is the main roster. She's been in NXT for 4 years. She's been a trooper. She's been through some really stupid shit. There's been times where she wasn't really on TV. There's been times where she was, I thought she had a storyline with Chase U that I thought was entertaining, but a lot of people, and I even know, like, clearly they just were doing whatever just to keep her on TV. It wasn't like a very thought out process of her like joining Chase U and whatnot. She's been through a lot, and I think she's been there long enough that when she does drop the title, whether it's in a couple weeks or in 6 months or whatever, it's definitely time for her to go up to the main roster. So for sure. But yeah, continuing on though. We have some cool news. I don't know if you saw this, but there's officially announced a Batman and Deadpool comic. You have heard that right. You have heard that right. Batman and Deadpool. From what I saw, this is the first, because they've done this before years ago where DC and Marvel would cross over in comics. From what I believe, this is the first DC and Marvel crossover in 25 years, if I am correct. And maybe Theo can fact check me on that.
20 years, not
20 years. So I believe they said it's going to be 3 separate comics or something like that. It's going to be one Marvel one DC one, and then like one combined one or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. But I just thought that was really cool. Since we do kind of cover, nerdy superhero stuff, even though I don't read too many comics. I know you read some comics and whatnot. I just thought it was really cool that this is going to be the first Marvel and DC crossover in 20 years. And it's going to be fun as hell, too, because, I mean, it's Deadpool. So I can only imagine the shit that he's going to put Bruce Wayne through. And if anything, maybe maybe, hopefully, this might be a sign of things to come at some point. I think with I know it sounds far fetched to some people, but to me, with James Gunn at the helm of DC Studios now, he's very good friends with Kevin Feige. He obviously did the Guardians movies, has a great relationship with Kevin Feige. It would not shock me within the next 20 years if we did see some sort of crossover between the DC Studios and the MCU. I think everybody would be on board for that. That would be really cool. It's just a theory, but I think if there's ever a time, this is the time that is probably most likely would happen because of the great relationship that the two studio heads have. But yeah, the comic is coming. I think that's really cool. I got to sneeze. I feel it coming on. But we officially have our Harry, Ron, and Hermione for this new Max Harry Potter kind of reboot that they're doing. Dominic McLaughlin as Harry Potter, Arabella Stanton as Hermione, and Alistair Stout. What a badass name. Alistair Stout as Ron Weasley. I don't know. You perked up, so I'm assuming you're excited for this show.
I am a bit excited. I saw the casting and I was like, okay, they kind of look like it. And then I know there's obviously going to be a lot of people that have like skepticism about this just because they're already like being defensive against the show and whatnot. But I saw on TikTok somebody had posted like Arabella.
I think I sent it to you.
You did send it. Yeah, that's where I came across it.
Right.
Her like her reel audition reel, and I was like, damn, that's Hermione right there. Like,
she sounds exactly like her. She sounds exactly like.
She's doing like the same like motions, like the eyes and stuff like that.
Right.
I think they'll definitely nail at least her character for sure. But it definitely made me a little more excited to see that because it's just such a good character.
Dominic McLaughlin. I mean, I don't know any of these actors, but Dominic McLaughlin, I think he looks pretty on par for Harry Potter. He has like the short, kind of almost bowl cut black hair and everything. I did love how the photo they posted was almost identical to like the original cast announcement when they were like the original cast announcement. Those kids, they like sent those kids out into like a field and took photos of them, and it's the same thing. It was the three of them in a field smiling, and I was like, that's cool that they kind of recreated that. I'm excited. I think this show has all. I know a lot of people, like you said, are reserved about it. Don't touch what's not broken, and I get that. We love the Harry Potter movies and stuff like that. But sometimes, it is good to explore some different things. I'm sure that this show, like most kind of reboots or live action adaptations of things or whatever, like I'm sure there's gonna be things that are different and things that change from what the original movies did and whatnot. But that's par for the course. It just happens. I'm excited. I will say, if anybody has any intent on being mean to any of these kids, do not fucking do that shit. That shit,
not
you shouldn't.
Learned our lesson from episode 1?
Right, that shit should not happen at all. Whether it's a Kelly Marie Tran in Last Jedi situation, shouldn't happen to anybody, but especially not to some little kids. Like you just said, look at what Jake Lloyd went through for years. So yeah, if you have any intention or cruel intention or anything to make fun of these children, do not do it. And if you do it, you're a piece of shit. These kids are just accepting a job.
Bad taste. It's just
right.
Mean.
They're just doing their job, and I'm sure they're all very excited to not just have a job, but look at what it is. You know what I'm saying? These kids, I'm sure, are
one of the
very
biggest
excited
franchises of all time.
Right. I'm sure these kids are very excited to run around probably a practical castle and pretend to be, wizards and whatnot. So leave them alone. I know I could already tell Arabelle Stanton, she's not white. You know what I'm saying? So I could already tell there's going to be some stupid shit where people are mad. I know people were mad because the guy that's playing Snape is black, and I saw a whole bunch of people mad about that. So I'm sure this poor girl is going to get some sort of racist, ridiculous comments. Don't do it. Leave the girl alone. She's just doing her job. And from what we saw in that audition reel, she seems like she might be doing a pretty fucking good job at her job.
Great job.
So yeah, leave her alone. But yeah, no hate to them. Please let them be. But in general, I am interested. I am excited. I won't say I'm like max capacity excited, but I am excited. I'm obviously gonna watch it. I'm gonna check it out. I know you will. I'm sure Grace will. She's a Harry Potter fan. So yeah, we'll have to keep updated on it because I don't know. I believe it probably comes out next year. Obviously they haven't started filming yet, but it probably comes out next year. We'll have to any other news that we get, we'll have to add in here throughout time. Last little piece of news here: Cyberpunk 2 is officially in development. I know that this is a big one for me. I love Cyberpunk 2077. So the fact that we're getting a sequel is really really fun and really exciting for me. I hope they take their time. I hope they. I don't care if they have to delay it 50 times, because that, as much as I love Cyberpunk 2077, I do know that it probably is like the most disastrous video game launch of all time. I do understand that, but I also think that might be kind of part of what I love is that they had such a horrible launch, but they ended up kind of being able to turn the ship around and make a really great game with a really good DLC expansion and everything like that. And they're still updating the game as well with new like items and stuff like that. So I love that they were able to pull the ship around and kind of get it back on course and make a really great game that people really love now. So yeah, I do hope though with Cyberpunk 2 or whatever it's going to be called that they do take their time this time instead of give in to the pressure of the fans and give us a great game right off the rip. And last piece of news, SmackDown is officially staying at 3 hours. I know there was something where they started the 3 hours, but it was only going to run till probably next week or something like that, till about June, and then they were going to go back to 2 hours. But I saw these reports from multiple kind of outlets here where apparently not. Apparently they USA is enjoying having SmackDown at 3 hours and whatnot, so it seems like they're going to be staying 3 hours. I think it said in the report that it's not a permanent thing. But it was more likely that if they were to go back 2 hours, it would be around September, because that's when, like, the TV season resets or like the new season starts.
Yeah.
So that's probably when they'll go back to 2 hours if they do. But yeah, SmackDown's staying at 3 hours. So, what do you got? Any thoughts? Good.
Good. Yeah. I mean,
Good.
obviously, just to get more people like on the show and whatnot, I think is always a good thing. So,
right.
If it stays at 3 hours, that's always a good thing for me. And it's just more wrestling, more fun.
I agree. As I'm yawning. Ugh. But I agree. Yeah, I think part of the issue with the 3 hours though is that we want like more people on the show, but then it kind of just turns into more time for the bloodline. Like it comes more time for Solo.
More time for the people that are already taking up time.
Right. So I hope that at some point they do invest in that, because it was something like you look at like Blair Davenport, who was there. And when that was somebody that I know a lot of people said like SmackDown went to 3 hours, and a lot of people were like, oh, someone like Blair Davenport can like get on the show now. And obviously, unfortunately, she got released shortly after that. So that's why I hope now, at some point down this path until September or until whenever they do, kind of lock in and start getting more underutilized people on the card. That SmackDown tag division is stacked.
It's incredible.
And as much as I love them. Motor City, DIY, and the Street Profits are not the only three tag teams that are in that division. You do have Pretty Deadly, and you do have I don't know what their name is because they've changed their name, but Berto and Garza, who are a great tag team, as well as Pretty Deadly. Those are two really good tag teams, so hopefully they can get a little bit more instead of just random matches against one of the other three teams that they're going to lose. Hopefully they can get a little bit more and get some bit of a push with this time. So yeah, that's kind of all of the news and discussion this week. Unless you got anything you wanna add in here, Mr. Theo.
No, I think we got a pretty good amount of news. I think we covered it pretty well.
We're still pushing forward with Battlefront 3. We're still pushing forward with our
fight
campaign.
Does not die. I'll be playing
it
later today.
Hell yeah!
By later today, I mean the second this is over, I'm probably gonna.
Oh, that's something I totally forgot about.
Oh wait, yes, no. Let's actually, we do have to cover that because I completely forgot about that as well. That it did reach.
Oh, I had something totally different, not Battlefront related.
Well, I will start on it then, I guess. It did reach and far so exceed its player count the past week, because I think it was last Saturday, like the day after we had recorded our last episode. Everybody got on, and there were a bunch of different numbers being thrown around. There was like 17 to 18,000 people playing on Steam, which was like its all-time max. I think the reported number was somewhere around 300,000 people playing the game at the same time. The servers had crashed at one point during the day because so many people were playing it, and it is just incredibly beautiful to see that and all the support this game has been getting over the past week. And I hope that does continue on for a good amount of time, because I am still very much so enjoying playing it. Again, I'm going to be playing it later today, but I'm having such a fun time with the game. I love seeing so many other people have such a fun time with the game. People that are coming back after years not playing it, and even new gamers, new Star Wars gamers, stuff like that, getting into it for the first time ever, enjoying it too. It's all just incredible. I love seeing it.
Hell yeah. I I haven't had a game night in a while with the boys. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time. But what was it, last weekend? You, me, my boy Carlos, and my sister Grace. We all hopped on Battlefront, and we were on Battlefront till like 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
We got on at like 8
I
o'clock,
rarely ever
9
stay up
o'clock.
that late, but I stayed
Yeah.
up that late for Battlefront.
We got on at like 8 or 9 o'clock, and we were up till 2 a.m. just running heroes versus villains and co-op missions and everything, just having the time of our lives, joking.
Ewok
It
hunt.
was a great time. Yes, Ewok hunt, still alive, still terrifying. It was even funnier because Carlos and Grace didn't know how to play it, so they were just like lost the first time we played. So yeah, keep the course, keep the line, hold the line, and
Yes.
we will continue to push forward, make
Keep the
Battlefront
good
3
fight
happen.
going.
The thing that I wanted to say though that popped in my head, as you said, what I'm going to be playing later today is this. Totally forgot that it's a thing. I pre-ordered this game called Hypercharged Unboxed. I feel like I've sent it to you. It is like a shooter, but you are an action figure, and it takes place in like
yes.
a
Send me
toy
down.
store.
I remember,
It's
yeah.
either like a toy store, some kid's room, a backyard. It is like core peak like childhood. I don't want to say nostalgia, but like childhood thing, like an idea that every boy at least has had of your action figures coming to life. What would they do? And it's like almost like Toy Story. This is what they do. Apparently, is they all break out of the boxes in a toy store, and they just have this giant like battle in the middle of the toy store. So I pre-ordered this game because I think with PlayStation Plus it was only like $30 or something like that.
Okay.
It drops today. It's out. I can play it right now,
Oh.
but I did not have the time, obviously, because we're recording. So as soon as we are done, as soon as Theo stops fucking yapping, I will be playing Hypercharged Unboxed.
You've been yapping way more than me.
I know,
Hold on.
I know. No, but I will be playing that. I am super excited. I don't even know like what the game modes are. I didn't like deep dive into it. I just saw like you're an action figure, you're in a toy store, and you're killing each other and whatnot. So that's all I saw, and I was like, that's all I need. So I don't know what the game modes are or whatever. I just know it's a shooter. But I did see like a video with the main like developer talking about the like unlockables and stuff like that. It seems like they cook, bro. There's like 100 or so different variations of toys that you can unlock and stuff like that. You literally, when you spawn into the game, you break out of the box. Like you break out of your box, and there's like attachments for your gun that is like zip tied into your thing that you could break and put on your. I'm like, dude, this shit seems like it's cooking. I don't know. So as soon as we are done with the podcast and I get it uploaded, that is what I will be playing. I am super excited, but I will have to let you know how good it is so that you could maybe also get it and we can play. Because I know there is co-op and whatnot. So yeah, hopefully it's good. Hopefully we can get Theo on it and then we could be playing that because it looks really really fun. So that's the last piece. You just reminded me as you said you were gonna be playing that later today. So yeah, I'm super excited for that. But moving into our song of the week, Theo, what song of the week do you have?
My song of the week. This is one I've been recently getting back into over the past few days or so. I've been having a bit of an 80s kick, as I have pretty much every single month at some random point. So I've decided to pick Missing You by John Waite, a very banger of a classic. One of those songs that you would have playing on your boombox outside of your crush's house and whatnot, that kind of shit. It's a banger. I love this song so much. It's so fun to sing along to. It's just great. Good old classic 80s fun.
Off the name, I don't know if I've ever heard it, but I may have. But I'll have to check it out. Mine, you definitely know mine. Mine is Let's Get It Started by the Black Eyed Peas. Bro, I don't know what it is. I think it's TikTok. Black Eyed Peas are like, there's like a resurgence going on throughout TikTok or something like that where people are using their songs as sounds for viral trends and whatnot. So I think that's what it is. I've been on a Black Eyed Peas kick, bro. I've been listening to like so many of their hits. But Let's Get It Started, there is nothing better. That, when I said, like, we had this conversation where I said, like, when you listen to Human Nature by Michael Jackson, if you are in a bad mood, you will no longer be in a bad mood. If you're upset or in a bad mood, that song is just so beautiful that you kind of have to, like, just feel it. I'm adding this to the list, bro. You cannot be in a bad mood and hear will.i.am just being like, let's get it started, hot. It is so good. It is such a banger. I will listen to it in the car, and I will just have a full jam session just screaming this song at the top of my lungs because it is so good, bro. So that's my song of the week. Let's Get It Started by the Black Eyed Peas. I love that song.
That's great.
Great song. Rock That Body by the Black Eyed Peas is another banger, bro. That's another good one. But it's time for our official topic of the week. As some, I'll explain for those that don't know, we kind of do 3 weeks of different topics, and then the 4th week of every month we do a review. We are kind of on a WrestleMania kick. We did I say a kick. We only did like one other one so far.
We did one.
So we did WrestleMania 2000 last time in our first review. So we just figured we'll continue on and do WrestleMania 17 or X7 as Theo wants to call it. So yeah, we basically at the end of the month we just do a kind of review, and it's not always going to be wrestling. It might be a movie. It might be another wrestling show, another wrestling company. That's something I also want to talk to you about because there's definitely you didn't watch like any TNA, so I'm like we definitely have to review some TNA so you can like get caught up on that. But for now, we're on a bit of a WrestleMania kick. So this past week we both watched WrestleMania 17. For me, this is the millionth time I've seen this. I've said it before. I had a little box set that had WrestleMania 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 on it. And this is before you had the WWE Network and things like that. So when I wanted to watch a wrestling show, I had to pop in a DVD. So I've seen this WrestleMania 1,000 times. Theo, I believe, was this your first time watching it?
This is my first time watching like the full WrestleMania.
Right.
I think when we were doing our like WrestleMania matches list, I pretty much went from like the TLC match on, just like straight, and then also I think the Benoit Angle match. But this is my full time fully watching the entire pay per view. It is fucking long. I had to like split it up in like 3 days, but yes, it is my first time watching the whole thing.
Yeah, I had to split it up too because I started watching it, and then when I hung out with Lexi, it came together like very last minute. It was like very just spur of the moment. Let's go to the movies. So I started watching it, and I had to pause it because then I went out with her. And then when I came home, I was like, I'm not. I'll watch it tomorrow. So I watched it between Wednesday and Thursday. This is widely regarded as one of the greatest WrestleManias ever. So we'll give our full opinion on that at the end. But to start off, my first note is I absolutely fucking love the intro of this WrestleMania, where everybody the normal people are just like about their lives. There's like a farmer. There's some lady that's like some Chinese lady making like Chinese food at a restaurant or whatever. But everybody that's about their normal lives all have either a radio or a little TV or a TV like that, a radio or like a little handheld TV or a TV in their establishment or whatever could be playing it. They were all watching WWE. They were all watching wrestling, and that was the whole idea of it. Is that no matter who you are, no matter what you do, WrestleMania brings us all together because it's the granddaddy of them all. I love it. It's like a magical intro because there's like that like kind of almost magical music going on in the background, and I just love it so much. This is one of my favorite WrestleMania intros for sure. I forgot because I knew this existed. I just didn't remember it was for this WrestleMania. And so when I saw like the farmer or whatever pop up, I was like, oh shit, this is the WrestleMania with this intro. Okay, sick. So yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. I love it so much.
I love that. That was a very good intro. I love like when they do the like the music drop into like the pyro and all that stuff. It works so well with My Way. It's so sick. It like got me hyped. Like I've never seen this WrestleMania before, and I was like, all right, I'm getting into it. This is awesome. Let's go.
Oh, to add,
way to start the show.
I have my WrestleMania 17 T-shirt on with The Rock and Austin. I got on the TikTok shop actually. So yeah, I figured I'll put that on. But opening match, Y2J Chris Jericho defeating William Regal in a singles match for the WWF Intercontinental Championship. My notes, I only got 3 notes on this. This feud was pretty funny. You could see it kind of recapped in the little promo package of Jericho pissing in his tea and whatnot. This is a fun little feud. Jericho is always funny. Even now, even though he sucks now, he still has moments where he's pretty fucking funny. But like, yeah, prime Jericho was just funny as hell, whether he's dressing up as Doink the Clown and attacking somebody or calling somebody an ass clown or something like that. He's always funny. I loved Regal's reverse of the walls of Jericho into the Regal stretch. I don't know if you noticed that. He was trying to turn him over for it, and Regal like put his foot behind Jericho's foot and like did some crazy transition that made Jericho trip, and then he immediately went into the Regal stretch. And I was like, well, this is why William Regal is one of the greatest in-ring performers of all time, because he's got things like that, transitions like that to just make you go, oh shit, all right, this boy cooking. And my last little thing is this is just a great opener. This was a great way to set the tone. And I feel like either Lawler or JR even said it on on commentary or something like that about this setting the tone for the rest of the night. Yeah, that's exactly what it did. It was a great opener. It set the tone for the rest of the night. So yeah, I didn't have too many notes because I feel like when you have just like a straight good wrestling match, just straight on with no drama or like feud or anything like that. Not feud, but like there's no interference or anything. It's just a straight wrestling match. I feel like I can't put too many notes because it's just like it's just a good match. I can't say anything. So
match, yeah.
Those are my three notes.
Yeah, I kind of had a similar approach to my notes as well. I thought it was a pretty good start to the show. Definitely funny stuff. I think that kind of rivalry works very well because Chris Jericho is just that like kind of funny to where it also works with William Regal's kind of funny, almost in like a clashing but collaborative sense at the exact same time. And I also did put that William Regal was on his fucking shit this match, bro. He never disappoints, bro. He's always just
He's so good. So, second match on the card, Taz and the APA of Bradshaw and Farouk with Jacqueline defeat Right to Center, the Godfather Val Venus, and Bolt Buchanan with Steven Richards in a 6-man tag match. And I'm going to say it too because this is like I copied the card from obviously a website. They included the times, so this match went 3 minutes and 56 seconds. I don't have the time for the opener, but this match went 3 minutes and 56 seconds. Not very long.
It did not feel like 3 minutes and 56 seconds. I feel like it was longer.
Right. Well, it also doesn't include the entrances and stuff like that, so that's probably why. But yeah, my three notes. Right to Censor is so funny, but so fucking bad. I think I even sent it to you on Snapchat. I was like, dude, it is almost unbearable, but it's so funny. It's almost so unbearable that it's hilarious. And the theme song, which isn't even a theme song, is the worst theme song. I will stand on that hill that is the worst wrestling theme song ever because it's literally just an alarm. And I don't even know what the person is saying. There's like, mine. I don't know. Like
warning or something like
something,
that.
Something, right. Maybe they're saying right because their name is Right to Censor. That's all I could think of. Know. But it is so bad. So yeah, my three notes. Right to Censor is so funny but so bad. Taz's entrance makes me want to run through a fucking wall. His
entrance is so fucking good, bro.
It is so good. And my last note is filler match. This is just clearly just a way to fill out the card. They got a lot. I mean, they got a lot of people on the card here. They got what? Right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They got 8 people on the card. 6-man tag with 2 managers. So they got 8 people on the card in 4 minutes. So they kind of did their job. This was literally, like I said, just to fill out the card a little bit, add something else to the card, and get 8 people on WrestleMania. So.
Yeah, it was a meh match. I didn't really mind it. Thankfully, it wasn't all that long, but apparently I felt like it was a little bit longer than 3 minutes or whatever.
I agree with you. By the way. It does feel longer.
I will agree with you. The Right to Censor stuff is funny, especially when it's like the Godfather is there, and that's like the last place the Godfather really should be.
Right.
But the theme was terrible. Taz, on the other hand, had an incredible entrance and an incredible theme. I mean, as he always does. I feel like he was probably my favorite in the match. And I feel like him working with APA also kind of works as like a 3-man team. Like I can definitely see that working, and it kind of did because they won the match regardless. But yeah, it was meh. It was just something to get everybody on the card. It always happens.
APA also badass. I saw this clip. I think it was last night. I saw this clip of The Rock, and he for whatever reason has to go talk to the APA. And so he goes up to them, and he walks right in, and Bradshaw is just like, "What the hell, man? You just walked through our wall." And The Rock is like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "There's a door for a reason. There's a door for a reason, dude."
What you're talking about.
And The Rock looks over at the door, and he walks over the door, and he like knocks on the door, and he goes, "Hello, it's me," or something like that. And then he continues on with the rest of the segment. I was like, "That's fucking great, dude! You just walked through our wall." So good. The next match. The fucking next match, bro. This is chef's kiss to hardcore wrestling, I would say. This match, I just remember as a kid. Honestly, even over almost the TLC match, I will be honest, as a kid, for some reason, this just stuck out to me, and I think I know why. I think it stuck out to me because they went in the crowd and they went in the back. So yeah, Kane defeats Raven and Big Show triple threat hardcore match for the hardcore championship. This match went 9 minutes and 28 seconds. It pretty much felt like that. And my notes, one of my favorite matches on this card as a kid. I love them going into the crowd and backstage, which, yeah, just so good. My other note, this is funny. I know the venue charged WWE out the ass for breaking a wall.
Dude, oh my god, that's what I was thinking. Like, they were going through walls, they were going through doors
Right.
and shit like that.
So,
I was like, yeah,
when they
they're
go
just racking up charges.
when they go into that room, clearly that room is fake. That room is clearly was built for this match where they, I think it was Raven gets thrown through the glass window and whatnot, and they go through walls and stuff like that. Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. You can clearly tell that's fake. When they first get to the back, I don't even remember. I think it was Raven maybe who gets thrown into a wall that is clearly just a wall that's a part of the stadium, and there's a giant hole. And yeah, so I just went, oh yeah, this stadium probably got way more money than they needed from WWE for having to patch up this wall. Big Show's reaction to the chokeslam reversal or whatever, like he had Kane in the chokeslam, and then Kane grabs him, and Big Show just goes, just like that. So good. And my last
His
note,
reactions are
still
always so
fire.
fucking funny, bro.
Yes, my reaction or my last note is still fire. I love this match so much. This match is so fun. Even the finish, they go off the stage and Kane just drops a fucking elbow on them. Yeah, everything about this match. They're driving the go-karts, all this stuff. I have like a section at the end here that's just like facts about WrestleMania 17. There's something about this match that is crazy that I will get to, because I was like, holy shit, that's wild. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this match?
I also very much so enjoyed this match. I mean, as you said, it's just good old fashioned extreme wrestling. Anywhere you can like go. It also kind of reminded me a little bit of. I mean, this is a far more of a modern thing, but it kind of reminded me of the Monster on Monster match, which was like Braun Strowman versus Bronson Reed. How they would just go throughout the entire stadium and just start breaking everything around them and shit. I just love this kind of wrestling, man. It's just so much fun, and it's just so chaotic. And the only other note I really had besides that was that I did not realize, maybe it's because I just haven't watched much of anything from Raven, but his theme song is fucking great. I very much so enjoyed his theme song.
Yeah.
I did not know.
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, banger.
Yeah,
I love
that
that
shit
theme song. Yeah. All right. Next up, Eddie Guerrero with Perry Saturn defeating Test in a singles match for the WWF European Championship, 8 minutes and 32 seconds. This is another just really good match, honestly. It's Eddie Guerrero, so it's never going to be bad.
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong.
And so my notes, my first note, I love Perry Saturn's hat. He had like that white, like fluffy hat on.
That was
so
ridiculous.
Good. So good. Eddie is always goated, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Test is very underrated. I think he's a very good wrestler and never gets like the credit. And the fisherman neckbreaker that Perry Saturn hits on Test when Eddie's distracting the ref was fucking incredible, bro. I saw that man just snap, and I just saw Test's body just go flying, bro. It was, oh my god, it was so good. Those are the only notes I have for this match.
Yeah, no, I kind of just wrote it down. It was just another good match. Eddie Guerrero is always amazing.
Yeah.
Test is always pretty good as well. Always gotta love the classic Eddie cheat to win the match. It's always good. It writes itself. It's always great.
Right. Next match, Kurt Angle defeating Chris Benoit in a singles match, 14 minutes and 10 seconds, and it definitely felt like that. Like I said, this was just a great wrestling match, so I really have like no notes. My only 2 notes: these guys make magic together, and this was just a great match. That's all I have.
They you can never go wrong putting these two against each other. I really love. I think this is why Kurt Angle is one of my favorites, if not just my current favorite. Is just that how he like incorporates like his like classic wrestling style into like the professional wrestling style. I think he does it so fluidly and so well to where I'm like, he really is just one of the GOATs in terms of like wrestling ability. I also wrote down, because I know this is gonna happen. I'm pretty sure in 18 as well, if not 19, one of the next ones that we do. He comes out in his entrances, Kurt Angle, and he has like the microphone, and he's just shitting on like whatever city that he's in and whatnot. I fucking love that, bro. I wish that they would do that with more people, because I feel like it's just so fucking funny. Especially
they need to do that. They should do that. They should have like Grayson Waller doing that every week.
Yes, absolutely.
On his way to the ring.
Should absolutely be doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great match.
I want to add. This is like we're still like Angle is in like his second or third year with WWE at this point. Still very early into his career. He was not a wrestler. I mean, he was a he was a amateur wrestler, you know, but he was not a pro wrestler on the indies. So he's like 2 or 3 years into his career, and he's having huge matches, singles matches on WrestleMania. So it's like clearly Vince loved this guy because I mean, even at that, I believe he had already been WWF champion at that point and stuff too.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure on like when or whatever, but like just in general, Vince obviously loved this guy, and with good reason. He's such a great wrestler. He's one of my favorites. Definitely probably in like my top 20, which is kind of wild to say, but like definitely in my top 20 of like favorites. Like he is just so good. And yeah, it's similar to like a Brock Lesnar, or probably even now like a Braun Breaker, where it's like Kurt Angle was only like 2-3 years into his career and was already in such big spots. It's really cool to see, you know. So China defeats Ivory in a singles match for the WWF Women's Championship, 2 minutes and 38 seconds.
That, honestly, that was a lot longer than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like a minute 30. This was such a quick squash match.
Yes, my notes. The cannon entrance was fire. I always thought that was as a kid, where China came out with a fucking she's got a gun, and she shoots Pyro out of the cannon. I don't know if she was actually shooting it out of the cannon or not, but Pyro looks like it's coming out of the cannon. That was so cool. Ivory is funny as hell, bro. She is so great. And yeah, my last note: big old squash.
Big
Just
squash,
a big old squash to get the title on China. China's gear was pretty cool. She had like that pink gear with the headband. Pretty cool. I can't say the same for Ivory because Ivory was wrestling in a button-up shirt and a tie. But yeah, China's entrance and her gear was really cool. And just a really cool spotlight on China. I'm glad that she got like that moment. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think I'm trying to remember. I don't think she's on 18. I think she may have left by then.
I think so.
So like, good for her that she got like this really cool big WrestleMania moment before she kind of left, and she never went back. You know, so like, really cool that she got that moment before she kind of headed out. You know. Any other notes you got for that or no?
No, I mean you pretty much.
It was
China,
2 minutes.
China's always good. It's a 2-minute squash match. What can you really say?
Right. All right, we're getting into the heavy hitters now.
Yep,
Shane McMahon with Linda McMahon defeats Mr. McMahon with Stephanie McMahon and Trish Stratus in a street fight with Mick Foley as the special guest referee. 14 minutes and 11 seconds. Yeah, this match is wild.
Oh my god, I love this. This is the kind of shit we need on more WrestleManias. Just fun shit like this, bro.
Yes.
It's always so good.
My 3 notes. One is kind of more of a fact that just constantly slips in my mind, is that the invasion angle started the week before WrestleMania.
Right.
Like right before WrestleMania is when Shane announced he had bought WCW. And that just constantly slips in my mind, especially now because it's like something that big, and obviously they didn't really probably plan it. It just so happened to, you know, legally and logistically just line up that Vince had bought WCW around this time. But like you would never see something like this huge groundbreaking thing the week before WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? Like you would never see that these days. So like that always blows my mind. That's like this huge angle, this huge moment, and not even the angle, just this huge moment in general of in wrestling's history. One of the biggest moments that happened in wrestling history happened a week before one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time. So that's pretty wild. My other 2 notes. This is literally just a father and son beating each other's ass. That's all this is. I'm sure, you know, there was no work punches thrown. I'm sure they were. It's father and son. I'm sure they had different kind of issues with each other in real life that they were able to kind of take out within this match. And a huge pop for Linda when she gets out of the wheelchair. My God, the fucking roof blew off of that place when Linda
that may
stood
have
up.
been one of my favorite parts of the entire night, bro. I love that fucking Linda spot. Honestly,
So good.
her entire performance throughout the entire match is incredible because she's just sitting there, stone-faced, staring off into nothing as her husband and son are beating the ever-living shit out of each other with weapons and whatnot. But yeah, when she pops out of that chair, man, it's fucking incredible. The place explodes. It's awesome.
Trish's turn also great moment when Trish finally turned against Mr. McMahon is another great moment. The place loved that as well. Yeah, just a really great match. Yeah, just in general, just really good. I don't know if you have anything else you want to add, but it was
I think
great.
just to kind of piggyback off the WCW Takeover thing, I had no idea that was the week before a WrestleMania, let alone this WrestleMania. But I
Right.
think that really adds to the great overall storyline that they had set up for this match. Overall,
I
I just think it was super fun.
I'm looking at like my facts here, and I don't have my facts, so I'm just gonna say it here. Um, there was apparently, while I was looking for facts about this, I don't know why I excluded it, but apparently, so you know how I think it was before the match started, or maybe during Shane's entrance, they showed the WCW guys sitting in like the press box or whatever.
Yeah.
Apparently, that was not the idea. Originally, the idea was that the WCW roster would actually get involved in the match and help Shane win. But apparently, I don't even think you know this guy, Sean Stasiak. He was obviously in the WCW roster. I guess the week of WrestleMania or like the couple days before, probably at Access or whatever, he was doing like media and interviews, and he just flat out says in one of the interviews that the WCW roster is gonna be involved in the match and is gonna help Shane win. Like he just straight up spoiled this run-in.
That's so stupid.
And Vince found out about this and just completely kiboshed it and was like, it's not happening now. To the point where apparently he was so mad, he almost actually told the whole WCW roster to go home. He like almost had them book flights to go back home and not be at WrestleMania because he was so pissed that this dumb fuck like spoiled this whole thing.
Right.
So that's why I guess maybe he had kind of gotten over it a little bit, and that's why they were shown in the press box or whatever. And I don't even know if Sean Stasiak's there. Maybe he got told to go the fuck home. I don't know, but I just thought that was crazy that it would have totally changed the match if like the WCW roster would have like run in and helped Shane, would have totally changed it. And then I just love how like wrestling is, that's planned, and it just totally flips because somebody fucked up, and Vince was just like, nope, scrap the whole idea then. So that's a fun little fun fact about that match. But next up is, in my opinion, the match of the night. Edge and Christian defeating Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley and Matt and Jeff Hardy in a table, ladders, and chairs match for the WWF Tag Team Championship. 15 minutes and 50 seconds. They almost went 16 minutes, bro. I
need to correct you on something. This is not just match of the night. This is one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time.
Yes.
Let's not underplay this.
I don't have the times for the last three matches. I don't know why. So I don't know. But this could possibly be the longest match on the show. I don't know. I feel like the main event is probably longer because they were doing a lot of shit. But
I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, this may be. I just need the times for the gimmick battle royal, Triple H and Taker, and then Austin and Rock. But my notes: Christian taking the bump off the ladder straight to the outside is fucking insane. That man, I don't even know if it was planned, if he meant to like nut himself on the ropes or something and missed, but he went straight off the top of a ladder, feet first to the outside. That man, I'm shocked that he didn't break one or both of his legs because that is a very far fall and not a lot of padding on the outside. So that was crazy. I love the run-ins between Lita, Rhino, and Spike. That stuff was incredible. The ladder spear is obviously one of the most iconic spots ever. They use it for literally every video package ever. Right. The outside table spot with Bubba and Matt going off the ladder straight to the outside through like 4 tables. Insane. Those tables exploded. The sound it makes when they hit is crazy. And then my last note, match of the night.
Yeah, you kind of hit it on the head. I mean, I've definitely talked about this match before because I had this on my top 5 WrestleMania matches of all time. So I've definitely gone into it a good bit of detail. But you kind of hit on the head with everything. All the spots were incredible. The run-ins were incredible. Obviously, the mid-air spear is one of the most iconic moments in any match ever, pretty much. I love this match. I can watch this match whenever. I literally gave it like I have in my notes. It's a 5-star match.
Yeah,
it's that good.
It's better than the one the year prior as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely, for sure.
They knew, those boys knew. Okay, we gotta raise the bar. We killed it last year. We had match of the net last year. We gotta go crazy. Right. Yeah, they literally had match of the year before, so they were like, match of the night the year before, so they were like, we gotta up it somehow. So yeah. All right. You have those times?
Yeah, I got the times. Gimmick Battle Royal is going to be 3 minutes 50 seconds.
Okay. What about the last 2?
Oh, do you want the times for all of them? I thought I could
yeah.
go off when. Okay. Undertaker Triple H 1827.
Okay.
Stone Cold and The Rock 2808.
Okay, so the main event had the most amount of time in the semi-main.
Yeah.
But other than the main event and the semi-main, then the TLC had the longest time. Those are the top three. So yeah, anything else you want to add before we move on?
No. Banger match.
Okay. Yes.
I always love it. It's incredible.
Speaking of bangers, and I do know bangers, the
I know
gimmick
bangers.
battle royal is up next. I actually
remember when I said that I need more fun stuff like this with the McMahon match in WrestleMania?
Yes.
I need more fun stuff like this
Yes.
in WrestleManias.
I have something for that as well. But as a kid, I actually really enjoyed this battle royal. I always thought it was fun. I love seeing all the gimmicks and whatnot. It's such wacky gimmicks.
Yes.
Yeah, I have 3 notes here. Love Mean Gene and Bobby Heenan on commentary. I believe they both were in WCW, so this was probably their home, like a homecoming for them.
Right.
My next note, Repo Man. That's my next note. I love the way, not just him. I noted that because of the way that Bobby Heenan says it. Bobby Heenan is like Repo Man. It is so great. And my last note, fun, goofy match that fits WrestleMania, and we need more of it. This is when we gave our WrestleMania 41 review, and I said there's something missing. There's no fun segments. It was just lacking fun, wacky shit. This is the type of shit I'm talking about. Whether it's a segment or a match, the shit with these like legends is just so fun because they're so old and they're so out of it and they don't know what they're doing and they're fucking up their lines and shit like that. That is what's fun. That's what I love, and that's what was missing from this past year's WrestleMania. There was no fun, goofy match or segment that included like legends like that, and it's very missed because this was 3 minutes of just stupid fun.
Right. And they definitely need to be doing that more so. And it's not like it takes up too much time like that. It's literally like a 3-4 minute match.
Right.
Like it's literally like just like
Well,
here's a little bit of fun until we get into the next thing.
I will say the entrances probably took a while. There was a lot of people and they all got their own entrances.
That did take a while. Yeah.
But you could change that because you could just have them all come out at once. They just chose to give them their own entrances. But you could have them all just come out to one song. So yeah, we need more of this.
I also wrote down shout out Iron Sheik. Fuck you, Hulk Hogan.
Yep, for sure.
That's it. Just good fun.
All right. The heavy hitters, the real heavy hitters here. Undertaker and Triple H. What was the time that you said for that? It was like 18. All right. That's it. I felt that too. It was long. I have a good amount of notes here. Motorhead entrance was pretty cool. Having Motorhead there to perform for Triple H.
Of course.
Honestly though, it totally got overshadowed by "Keep Rolling, 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 Rolling." It is that theme song. Oh man, people will shit on Limp Bizkit, but low key he is fire, bro. Like he has some bangers, whether it's My Way or Rollin'. Like he has some bangers, and that theme song just fits so well.
This is pay-per-view.
Yes, that theme song just fits so well, and I get so hyped every time I hear that song hit. This match is had to get him on the card match. Even though it's a big match, it was a semi-main event. This, there was no championship involved. There was no stakes involved. This was just 2 guys that I think it was in the package where I think Triple H was like, "I've beaten everybody," and then Undertaker was like, "You haven't beaten me, brother." And then they just start brawling. So it's like this was clearly just we got to get these 2 guys on the card because these are 2 very big names. So, yeah, especially because last year, Undertaker missed last year. He wasn't on the Mania before because he was injured or whatever, as well as Stone Cold. So it's like, definitely got to get him on the card if he has been gone, but also like missed the WrestleMania last year. You got to get him on the card. So, like, this match, in reality, could have just been a random, like, pay-per-view match, but I feel like they did a pretty good job of making it feel like a WrestleMania match for sure. There's also, though, like, my notes here, say that it was a great send-off to the Attitude Era because this was kind of when they were transitioning into like the Ruthless Aggression era.
Yeah.
So this match had pretty much everything that makes an Attitude Era match. It had the overbooked stuff. It had the ref bumps. It had it had everything. It had the fight in the crowd. It had literally everything that an Attitude Era match would have. So this was truly like a great send-off to the Attitude Era. Mike Chioda, who was the referee, this is another fact. He was out for 10 minutes straight. Like when Taker drops that elbow on him, from the time Taker drops the elbow on him to the time that he gets up, apparently he was laying on that mat for 10 minutes because they went out in the crowd and they were brawling and all that shit. So yeah, Mike Chioda literally was laying on the mat for 10 minutes before the match even actually like started. I thought that was funny that 10 minutes of this man's life was spent just laying on a mat waiting for Triple H and Taker to get back in the ring.
Right.
And my last note is just great match. This was really a good match. Like I said, this is a match that could have been on a Raw or it could have been on a pay-per-view, but they did a really good job of making this a WrestleMania match for sure.
This is definitely, I think, this is probably one of Undertaker's like first really good WrestleMania matches. I feel like, because I feel like before this there were just a lot of like kind of meh matches that he had at WrestleMania, but I feel like this one was definitely up there as one of like the bangers. And I mean, we obviously see years later on, they just keep having better and better matches against each other at WrestleManias. Right. So that's obviously something to look forward to. But I was just having a good old fun time with it. I think it was just a really great match overall. I feel like every single time we watch these, or as years go by, I just appreciate and love Biker Taker more and more. I feel like it's just sick. I enjoy it a lot.
It is wild because it's like he regrets doing it or regretted doing it or whatever, and it is such a wild, drastic difference than the Undertaker. Right. But it honestly, like, I don't know if he still regrets doing it or what. I feel like he can't regret doing it now because of the fact that now when he shows up, that's what he is, but it's just himself. So he already has a built-in character to just be himself. When he shows up now, he doesn't have to put on the trench coat and shit every time. But I know at some point he did regret doing it because he thought it kind of killed his character. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think it killed his character. I think it, if anything, kind of saved him because the Undertaker was not going to work in like the full-fledged. I know there was kind of, we had like the Ministry and stuff like that. But like the full-fledged Attitude Era shit, normal Undertaker would not fit there. Like he needed to change something, and Biker Taker made him edgy. Like that like that's the thing.
It works a lot.
Right. Normal Undertaker is not like edgy. He's just a demon. Like he's just straight up demon. He barely ever talked. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he needed something edgy because that's what the Attitude Era was all about. Everybody was, you know what I'm saying? Austin was the key to being edgy, but even like Rock didn't wrestle edgy, but all of his promos were edgy because he'd say some crazy stupid shit. Triple H was edgy in the way that he just was like such an asshole. Jericho was edgy because similar to The Rock, he would just call somebody a jackass. Everybody had like an edge to them, and Taker didn't. So it's like him being Biker Taker, I don't think killed his character. I think it, if anything, like I said, helped save him a little bit because he became like this edgy, just like straight badass, like similar to Austin, where it was just like Taker shows up, he's just gonna do what he wants, and he's just gonna if there's people in the ring, chances are you're getting a boot, a chokeslam, or a tombstone, or a last ride. So I think it almost did like kind of save his character because I don't think normal Undertaker would have worked during that time. So yeah, for sure.
Definitely badass.
I don't know if you have anything else.
Those are all my notes. I didn't have too many.
It was a great match. Just had to get these guys on the card, but did a great job of making it into a WrestleMania match. And I think, I could be wrong, don't fact check me, I'm just going off the top of my head, people. I feel like Triple H may be like his most faced opponent at WrestleMania. They faced off 3 times. So I don't know anybody else that he may have faced off more than that. He faced Shawn twice. Other than that, I can't think of anybody else that he's faced. I think Triple H might be his ultimate WrestleMania rival.
Right.
So yeah, main event time. The big one. The Big Daddy. It's a big one. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock. What was the time that you had?
28:08.
Right. Longest match on the card, as I hiccup there. Longest match on the card, with good reason though. It's the main event. This is the second Rock and Austin main event. They have 3. WrestleMania 19. When we get to WrestleMania 19, that is their last one, and I believe that's Austin's last. Well, not his last match, but that was his last match during his normal run. Is that WrestleMania 19 match? But right here, 17. This is probably their best match. I got a lot of notes here. All my notes to start. Best video package ever, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That is the best.
I don't know that Punk package from 41. I think
that shit was good.
Beat it. I don't know.
That was good, but to me, at least to tell the story of the match and shit, this is because we can say that Punk one, but that Punk one was really just for him. You know what I'm saying? That was just about him. I'm saying to sell the match, to recap you on the match, the feud, this is probably the best like vignette ever, dude.
In that regard, yes.
The editing, having My Way, which is the theme song of the whole event, is just it's so good. It is the best. If not the best, it's in the top 3 for sure. The pop for Austin, bro. My God, they were in Texas, so obviously it's amplified. But you would have thought God came back down to earth, bro, because Lord Almighty, that glass shattered, and that was the biggest pop of the night for sure. That was who did I say? Oh, when Linda stood up, I said the roof was blown off the place. Austin came out, the whole place just caved in on itself. That's right. That's what happened. So good. Love the hot start. These guys have been feuding and hate each other. There should not be these, there should not be this classic intro where they're both standing in the ring. And no, these guys hate each other. They needed to just go right at it as soon as they both get in the ring. These two always make magic together. They've had some incredible matches together. I love the sharpshooter callback. I don't know if you caught it. I caught it because I think JR said it on commentary when Rock had the sharpshooter in on Austin and Austin is bleeding. It is literally a 1-to-1 visual callback to WrestleMania 13 of Brett and Austin when Brett has the sharpshooter in and Austin is bleeding. It is literally like almost identical. So that was a cool callback. Austin pulling out the $1 Million Dream was cool. That's something I never even really noticed, even though I've seen this a million times. The fact that he pulled out the $1 Million Dream to try and beat Rock because he had used everything in his arsenal, and the only thing left he hadn't used was from when he was the ringmaster, which is probably something that his character hated. You know what I'm saying? He probably, like, the character of Stone Cold Steve Austin would never want to look back on the ringmaster ever, but the fact that he was so desperate to win this match that he was like, what if I pull out my shitty old finisher from when I was the ringmaster? And it still didn't work, obviously, but just the fact that his character was so desperate that he would try and pull that out was really cool. Even in defeat, The Rock looked like $1 million. That motherfucker was kicking out of everything, bro. Mm-hmm. And Austin was also kicking out of everything, but Rock was amplified more so because of the fact with Vince and whatnot. Rock was kicking out of everything, so even when he lost, he still looked like $1 million. But I will say the turn there, and subsequently within the whole thing, the turn just fell flat of Austin siding with Vince. It was not a good idea. And Austin has said it multiple times that it was not a good idea, and he regrets doing it. I think what makes it worse, or what made it really fall flat at the event, was that it was in Texas, and I think Vince thought, okay, we'll do it in Texas where he's from, and it'll be the most heartbreaking shit ever. But I think the Texas crowd was just more confused because of the fact that they wouldn't have ever seen Steve Austin doing this. Maybe if they would have done it somewhere else, it would have been just more heartbreak. But like, these are the Texas people that are like, nah, our guy wouldn't do that. It don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if he would have done this in Las Vegas, people probably would have just been like, oh my God, I can't believe our guy turned on us. You know what I'm saying? So I think the fact that it was in Texas didn't make it more heartbreaking. It just made it more confusing to the crowd. And yeah, the turn in general just fell flat. Austin was not, afterwards, he didn't get heel reactions. People still cheered him. And so that's why, like, he basically, like, it was a very short-lived heel turn for sure. He was babyface not too soon. Not too long after, I should say. But the match in general was incredible. It was a great main event. These guys gave it their all for 30 minutes. Even though the actual heel turn kind of fell flat, I did like Vince's actual moments in the match and his interference and whatnot. But yeah, this is just a really, really good match. 30 minutes of just incredible main event. A WrestleMania main event. That's all I can say. Like, this is a WrestleMania main event at its best. So,
yeah. This is definitely somewhere in my top 20 WrestleMania matches of all time. I think I did have it as an honorable mention, or one of many of my honorable mentions back when we talked about it. But yeah, it was just another banger. I do have written down here, I think Steve Austin may just be the most popped superstar of all time.
Yeah,
like,
he's definitely the most over wrestler ever, bro.
Most over wrestler of all time. Like you said, that pop was insane. It's been very rare, but I've heard pops go that loud, but they got it that loud. Just an overall incredible ending to the show, even though I do agree with you. I don't really care much for the turn, as I'm pretty sure most people will also say. It just didn't really work all that much,
Right.
especially with the crowd and stuff like that. Like, you could feel that confusion in the air about all
Right.
of that.
And it just doesn't make sense for his character,
It
bro.
doesn't make
his
sense,
whole
no.
his whole character arc is that he hates Vince McMahon. So
Right.
why would this man ever, for any reason, ever join him? So it was almost like an assassination of Austin's character, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Do you have
but-
anything else?
Stone Cold's awesome. I agree with you. Rock really was kind of the one I took away more from the match. Just incredible. I gave it a 4 stars.
Yeah,
I think just because I've seen this like twice
Cinema.
in like the past few months. But yeah, it's just great.
yeah, it's great. I will say, as a kid, 'cause I didn't really grow up in, like, I don't know, it's weird. We grew up in the 2000s, but as a wrestling fan, for me, obviously, I grew up in the 2000s. So what I was watching was, the 2000s and whatnot. So I didn't grow up in the Attitude Era, but all the DVDs and stuff that I would get, I had remnants of the Attitude Era, I should say, whether it was the DVDs or the action figures. Like, I would go to a store and still see, like, a Stone Cold figure on the shelf, even when he wasn't, like, there. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just, that thing's been sitting there for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I had remnants of the Attitude Era from DVDs and things like that. For me, even though, because I didn't watch the full Attitude Era, I just had the remnants, I always thought that Rock was the main star of the Attitude Era. Even when I watch stuff and I see Stone Cold in a main event, for some reason, I think because I was a kid and because at that time he had gone into Hollywood, I think that's why I thought he was the star. Yeah, he was in wrestling, he was the star, and now look at him, he's this huge Hollywood success because he was the biggest star in the WWE. It wasn't until like 10 years ago that I realized, like, no, Stone Cold is the star, man. Like, and I didn't get it. People would say it to me, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I think The Rock is. And it wasn't until I really did the research, and I was like, no. You could not go anywhere without seeing a Stone Cold Steve Austin t-shirt. Like, and I'm not talking about a wrestling show. Kids at school. If you went to school in the Attitude Era, there was probably 10 boys that were wearing Stone Cold Steve Austin t-shirts. If you went to Walmart, you would see a random dude or a random woman wearing a Stone Cold Steve Austin t-shirt. You could not go somewhere without seeing that skull. And I can't say the same for The Rock. Rock was huge. Rock was a big star. But you could go somewhere without seeing a Rock t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? So I had to bite my words on that, and I had to look back and go, holy shit, no, Austin really was, like, not even just the star. He was a megastar of the Attitude Era. Like, I didn't realize how much money that this man really made WWF at the time.
He was pretty much the biggest star since like Hulk Hogan,
Right.
in the WWE at that point.
Right. I think, too, why I thought that was because at the next WrestleMania, you have Rock and Hogan, and it was supposed to be Rock as the next Hogan and da-da-da-da. So I think as a kid watching that, I think that also probably was why I would be like, well, Rock was a big star because, look, Hogan, like, passed the torch to him. So, yeah, but yeah, Austin, brother, that man probably made WWF billions of dollars, bro, like, between T-shirts and whatnot. And also, he was just on everything, bro, like,
Yeah.
T-shirts and action figures, that's normal. JC Jane action figure right here. Everybody gets it, right? Now, no offense to her, obviously, but, like, that's part for the course. You get a T-shirt, you get action figures. No, this man was on everything. This man had soap, toothbrushes, covers, blankets, fucking anything you could think of. Paper airplanes that they would sell in stores with the Stone Cold logo on it. Like, everything that Stone Cold, either his face or the skull was on. It is so crazy. Like, if you look back at some of that Attitude Era merch, bro, it is crazy what they put that man's face or logo on. They were just doing anything, bro. As well. Before we get into, like, the facts, though, I have, like, some etc. just notes that I put. Limp Bizkit as the theme song, obviously fire, incredible.
Of course.
I love the set. The set just looks so huge, especially because, like, before this was the first really big set. Like, I feel like everything before that was just really small. I'm not 100% accurate, but I believe this is the first, like, really big set. I also love the aprons, the blue aprons with the WrestleMania logo on it. It looks so good. The attendance was 67,925 people. That was the official attendance for WrestleMania 17. And my last 3 notes, I have noted here, Heyman, Snickers Crunch. Or Snickers Cruncher. Because there was an ad, like they were talking about, right, in between matches, they were talking about, whatever. And they were like, WrestleMania is sponsored by Snickers Cruncher, which obviously was some different type of Snickers back in, 2001. But the way Paul Heyman says it, you would have thought he was announcing Brock Lesnar to the ring. He goes, WrestleMania 17 is brought to you by Snickers Cruncher. I was like, yo, what is this man on, bro?
Dude,
it was
he's
so good. It is so good. It was great. My last notes, though, WWF New York, that's one of the things I love about watching old stuff, is that they always cut to WWF New York, which, for those that don't know, it was a restaurant in Times Square that was a WWF/E inspired restaurant that literally closed, I think, in like 2003 or something like that. But I guess as their way to promote it, like every pay-per-view, they would have a live shot from WWF New York. And I just love the fact, like, this is, I don't know, it warmed my heart that they cut to that shot. And in general, I just love seeing it. It looks so cool. It looks like so nostalgic. But I love seeing, like, that there was a watch party going on. Like, that whole restaurant was full to the brim. Every table had at least 6 people at it, all there to just watch WrestleMania 17 together. Like that, we don't get that anymore. When you and I watch the PLAs, you come over, maybe Wyatt comes over, we sit on the couch and we watch it. We don't go anywhere. I've done it a few times where I've gone more as a teenager. I would go to Wing House and watch Money in the Bank 2015 with maybe some friends or something like that. But like, we don't have that community like that anymore, where literally all these people, and in reality, it was probably great because none of these people had to pay $70 for pay-per-view. They just had to get to the restaurant and pay, for their meal. But it was just so cool seeing all those people packed in that restaurant, enjoying food, enjoying the spirit of WWE, because the whole building is WWE themed, and all watching WrestleMania 17 together. It was so cool just seeing that.
Well, I think that's really kind of what it is that there's no, like, because that place is, like, dedicated to, like, WWE and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think there's just that kind of, like, center. Because, I mean, you could go to, like, Wing House and stuff like that, and you could watch it there, but, like, that's not what that place is for. With WWE Wrestling, that's literally, like, what it's for.
We need something like that, man. Like, to go off on a tangent, there's always been these rumors of them doing a physical Hall of Fame, maybe at City Walk or at Disney Springs here in Orlando. They should do that, but there needs to be like a restaurant attached to it, because they need to do something like this again, bro. Like, they need a place that not only you can just go to, but you can go to and sit down and have food, have a beer, and watch Backlash, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, whatever. Because I know if they did that, we would definitely go at least a few times. It's a bit of a drive for us, so we wouldn't be there every time. But there would be a few times we would definitely go and kind of be a part of it. Yeah, that would be great. And my last little thing to kind of add to the WWF New York a little bit is the Access videos. I feel like I talked about it last time. This is also one of my favorite parts about watching old WrestleManias. And again, maybe it's just because I'm so big into nostalgia and like 2000s nostalgia. So I love seeing these Access videos where you see all this old WWE banners and there's a WWF race car, and there's clips of people meeting the Hardy Boys, and I just love seeing all that stuff. And not just from here, even like when they do it, because they always pretty much do it. In WrestleMania 2010, they'll do it, and I still love seeing it and whatnot. So yeah, I just love seeing those Access videos. It's so fun. It looks so fun just going around. Obviously, it's still a thing, but it just looks so fun running around and meeting Kane, and he's got his mask on, and then going and doing commentary with Michael Cole in a booth, and then going and seeing some race car. Like, it just seems so fun. So I always love seeing the Access videos and seeing like what they were doing, I guess, during Access every year, what was like the stuff that was going on. So that's all my etc. Do you have any etc. notes?
I don't really have any etc. notes. No, I did give the overall pay-per-view a 4 out of 5. I feel like that's a pretty good score for it. I would
probably do the same. Maybe a 4.5 out of 5 if I'm feeling frisky.
It's definitely one of the best WrestleManias, though, for sure. I very much enjoyed it.
So, facts. These are just some random tidbits about the show that I have jotted down here. This was Rock's 3rd straight WrestleMania main event. He main evented WrestleMania 3 years in a row, which reminds me of someone else who did it. Roman Reigns, his cousin, also has done that in more recent fashion. So that's a cool little parallel that they got. But Rock did lose all 3. That is the difference between him and Roman Reigns, is that Roman pretty much, well, he didn't win all 3, but there's definitely, he's been on a pretty long tangent where he's main evented WrestleManias and whatnot, right, and he's won. But yeah, so Rock main evented 3 in a row and lost all 3 of them. This was Vince's first WrestleMania match. This was his WrestleMania debut, which was not something I really thought of. This is great. Shawn Michaels, HBK. You notice there is no Shawn Michaels anywhere on this show. He's not wrestling. He's not commissioner. He's not on commentary. Nothing. He was fired days before. It is so wild. The Raw before the Raw, where they announced that WCW has been purchased and stuff like that. That Raw the week before, Shawn Michaels showed up under the influence and was acting ridiculous. And Triple H, of all people, his best friend, went and told Vince that Shawn's here and he's acting a fool. Vince straight up fired him on the spot and sent him home. And apparently, Shawn Michaels and Triple H did not talk for a year after this incident. Yeah. So I guess it wasn't until he came back that they rekindled their friendship. So yeah, that is wild. That's something I never knew. I never even really noticed the Shawn Michaels. Because Shawn Michaels, like, during 2000 and 2001, he would come and go and whatnot. He wasn't wrestling. He was retired. So I didn't even really pay attention to the fact that he wasn't there. So I never realized that he literally, the Raw days before WrestleMania, he was fired and sent home. It was pretty crazy. Going back, though, to the triple threat match where I said I had a crazy fact about that hardcore match. Raven almost cut the power to the whole show.
What?
Dude, this is so wild.
How?
So
what?
the part where he's driving the golf cart and you know where he runs into like the mesh fence and then the go kart gets stuck. The golf cart gets stuck. Apparently, he didn't know this, gets stuck, and nobody said anything to him until I guess the Raw the next night, where the tech people came to him and it was like, "Hey, yeah, you know when you ran into that gate and the golf cart fell into that gap? Yeah, in that gap was wires that had the whole connection to the show. So if he would have run it over or tried to back it out, he probably would have like fucked up the cords and would have lost." They were like, it was not only just the power to the show or whatever, it was like the power to the stream. So if you would have fucked that up, everyone watching at home would have just went to a blue screen. And I just think that is so crazy that Raven was literally inches away from fucking up WrestleMania 17 for everybody, bro.
He would have been fired, bro, for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, yeah, he would have been
my
fired
God.
10 minutes after. He would have been on a flight an hour later. He would have been in the damn Houston airport or something like that, headed home.
Insane. I love that. I love
Yeah,
that so
it is
much.
so wild. I love that too. It is so wild. He was inches away from totally fucking up the whole show. WrestleMania 17 almost would not be as legendary as it is because Raven would have accidentally run over a wire. Right. So,
First ever 30-minute WrestleMania.
yeah. When it comes to Shane versus Vince, it was almost originally supposed to be Mick Foley versus Vince. That was the idea. Vince wanted to wrestle Mick Foley, and Mick Foley would have been, wrestling for, I guess, I don't know what the idea would have been. I don't think Mick Foley would have owned WCW. I think it more just would have been Foley's tired of Vince abusing his wife. Because if you do remember, he was representing Linda the year before. So obviously, they've always played off of this thing. And I think it is a real-life connection that him and Linda genuinely had. They had a good relationship. But Mick Foley was retired at the time. Vince came to him with the idea. And Mick, which is kind of funny, Mick basically said he wanted his retirement to stick. He didn't want to, he didn't want to retire and then come back, which is hilarious because he did come back in like 2005 to wrestle Edge and then was still kind of wrestling and whatnot. Well, actually, no, even before that, he wrestled Orton at Backlash in 2004, so he came back. He came back in like 2004 to wrestle. So the retirement did not stick. He also wrestled in TNA and whatnot. But he originally wanted it to stick, so he turned down the idea, and that's how we got to Shane versus Vince instead. Originally for Triple H, there was no plan. I don't know what was going on. I'm not sure if Undertaker may have still been injured or whatnot. I don't know. But originally there was like no plan for Triple H, but obviously you had to get Triple H on somehow. So the original idea that was pitched was a boxing match between Triple H and Mike Tyson. That was going to be the original idea, that they were going to bring Mike Tyson back, and that would be how you get Triple H on the card, and not just on the card as a throwaway in a big moment. Obviously, they would have done a full-on boxing match, but they had the idea, they liked the idea, they were going for the idea, and then once they got to Mike Tyson, once they realized the negotiation for Mike to come in to do the thing at WrestleMania, but then also to be at the Raws that needed to set it up, the price was too ridiculous, and Vince, I guess, kiboshed it. and that's how we got to Taker. But I think that is interesting that it originally was going to be a boxing match between Mike Tyson and Triple H instead. Very drastic difference to what we got, you know. But I feel like it would have been entertaining for sure. Yeah. And my last note, Steve Austin almost stunned Vince when the match ended. So the whole idea of why they turned heel was Vince or Stone Cold thought this heel turn was Stone Cold's idea. He thought the character had kind of run its course. He thought it was kind of getting dry. He wasn't getting the reactions that he wanted. So he came up with the idea for the heel turn. Apparently, in this match, he changed his mind because I guess between his entrance and the actual match itself, he felt like he gained all of his momentum back, which makes sense. I mean, he came out and, like we said, is one of the loudest pops we've ever heard. So he felt like he got his groove back. He was back kind of on top. And so they still went ahead with the actual heel turn, but he said as they were ending the show after the match, he said like he felt like he got his groove back. So he almost went off script and hit Vince with a stunner to end the show to kind of cancel out the heel turn. But he didn't, you know, I guess he at the end didn't want to get in trouble. You know, he didn't want to get his ass chewed out by Vince, so he just kind of just ended the show as it was. But that is an interesting thing. If Austin would have kind of changed his mind, you know what I'm saying, we would have had a totally different situation. I want to check something, though, because I feel like there's another fact that I'm thinking of that is pretty fucked up, but I don't know. Okay. Yep, this is it. So this is a pretty fucked up fact. I'm not sure if you know about this. Do you know about the Tommy Dreamer situation?
Which Tommy Dreamer situation?
About WrestleMania 17.
I don't think so, I guess.
All right, buddy. So I'm going to need you to take your camera out to your car and get in your car and strap in your seatbelt because this shit is fucking insane. And it's a pretty wild note to kind of end on here. Tommy Dreamer was obviously a member of ECW, ECW original. Clearly, you know, ECW had kind of been, you know, purchased or was in the process of being purchased. Paul Heyman was on commentary, so I'm assuming it was either purchased or was in the process of being purchased, right? So Tommy Dreamer, you know, Heyman is Heyman. I believe he owed a lot of people money. He did some people wrong during this original run, including kind of jumping ship to WWE and kind of letting everybody else in ECW just like figure their own shit out instead of advocating to take people with him and stuff like that. He kind of just looked out for himself in that sense. Tommy Dreamer was in a very, very deep depression. He was in a very bad situation because he wasn't wrestling probably and whatnot. He had this idea. It's so fucked up to say. He had an idea. He planned. I can't wait. You don't know this story, and I can't believe I'm telling you this story. I can't wait to see your reaction. He had planned to show up to WrestleMania 17, jump the guardrail with a gun, shoot Paul Heyman, and then get in the ring, hit his pose, and then shoot himself. That was his idea.
Snap. Okay.
Yeah.
I know half of this story then.
And apparently,
I've heard the thing about Tommy Dreamer, like, with the idea of going to, like, shoot Paul Heyman and stuff like that.
Yes.
I didn't know that would be at WrestleMania 17, and I didn't know he would go into the ring and then shoot himself. I didn't know that.
Yes. So yeah, he was planning on going there, going in, jumping the guardrail, shooting Paul Heyman, and then this is so wild. Sliding in the ring, hitting his pose. So he made sure to get himself over first. Hit his pose, and then kill himself in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania 17. It got as far as the part where he was actually sitting in his car in the parking lot of the stadium with a gun. Right. Like, he was outside. The thing that changed his mind was right before he got out of his car, he checked his phone or something like that and had a voicemail from Jim Ross, who was, I believe, in charge of talent relations at the time, that said, "Hey, Tommy, I hope you're doing well. Things are busy with WrestleMania, but after WrestleMania, let's talk about getting you a tryout." He just so happened to listen to this voicemail right before he got out of his car, and he changed his mind and went and left. It is
Jim
so
Ross
crazy.
Just saved Paul Heyman's life with that one.
He saved Paul Heyman's life. He saved
lives.
WrestleMania 17 in general. He saved Tommy Dreamer's life. It is crazy. It is so wild, bro. It is so wild. And it's not, I'm kind of like laughing about it and stuff. I don't want anybody to think I'm joking about this because it's a very serious thing. It is just so crazy to me how drastically different history would be if that were to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, clearly the show would not have gone on. You know what I'm saying? Like, they, you know, and whatnot. It is just, Heyman would not be with us. Tommy Dreamer would not be with us. It just, I don't know. It is so crazy. That's why I'm kind of like chuckling about it, because I'm like, it is just so crazy that if he did not have some random inkling to check his voicemail, of all things, to check his voicemail before he got out of the car, everything would have been so different. It would have been so crazy. But those are all my kind of facts about WrestleMania 17. In general, you and I both kind of give it a 4, maybe a 4.5 out of 5 stars. One of the best WrestleManias for sure. I'm very glad I have this shirt, because I love this WrestleMania. And I think this shirt in general, like the poster, I guess, is just so cool. It's just such a cool kind of vibe. I love the blue and the gold kind of color scheme. Is really great. So yeah, if you are watching throughout this whole thing, we appreciate you. It's an hour and a half of us talking about WrestleMania 17. So if you're here till the end, we really do appreciate you, because I know it's it's a lot. But yeah, we appreciate you. If you like this, you know, leave a comment. What do you think about WrestleMania 17? Do you like WrestleMania 17? Do you not like WrestleMania 17? What are your thoughts on some of the matches? What are your thoughts on the Tommy Dreamer situation? What are your thoughts on Snickers Cruncher? All of it.
We have to know your thoughts on the Snickers Crunchers.
Yeah, I low-key want to know, I'm just going to look this up off camera. I want to know how long the Snickers Cruncher lasted, because it just seems like one of those things that they come out with for a year.
Thing. Like, I feel
that's
like
what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. It was probably like a different Snickers for a year, and then they just like discontinued it or something like that. Right. But that's another thing about these WrestleManias I love, is seeing these old adverts for like random candies or foods or things like that. I just love seeing these random things. So yeah, if y'all like this, leave a comment. What did you like about WrestleMania 17? I'm not sure if our next review will be WrestleMania 18 or if we're going to do something else, but at some point we will get to WrestleMania 18. Clearly. I got to think about our next 4 episodes too, because now we're up, so I got to think about that. Shout out to WNRN, of course. We appreciate you. There is something, I don't want to fully go into it because I don't know if it's announced or something like that, but part of the WNRN, Mr. Zach Romero, I believe you may know him. He used to ring announce for ACW.
Yeah, I remember Zach.
Yeah. He's a part of the WNRN. He's kind of been doing stuff. He has a company called Brainbuster Video where he makes VHS tapes of like current movies and things like that. Right. But I believe they are actually gonna be dropping a podcast as well. Like, I don't know if it's maybe it's him and his wife or something like that. They're gonna be dropping some sort of podcast. I believe it's gonna be exclusive to a Patreon. But there's been talks within the group chat about a couple weeks after on the Patreon of us putting it on the WNRN Spotify. So if that's something that might interest you, I don't know exactly. Again, I don't have the full details, but I imagine it's probably going to be some movie podcast or something like that. So for those that are watching, if you're interested in that, stay tuned. I'll make sure to kind of keep people updated on that, because anything that happens within the WNRN, we're obviously going to put over and talk about, because that is our family. That's our group there. So yeah, shout out to WNRN. Of course, we got some merch you can check out on the Printify. We got some t-shirt designs, as well as, I don't know if Theo's t-shirt is up, but that should be coming soon with his Muppet themed logo. So yeah, anything else you want to add there, Mr. Theo?
No. Shout out WNRN, obviously. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening on whatever you do listen and or watch it on. We got some more good stuff coming on the way, so stay tuned.
Yes, sir. I will say something that slipped my mind. We have a new, for those that watch, and Theo, he's seen it. We have I have a couple of people that do kind of an intro. We have one from Catalina Perez, one from Elias AK-47. I like to use those. I use them right in the beginning because I like it. It's kind of like a cold open before we get into the actual intro. We have a new one from Lexi Gomez. When I was with her, I figured I'm with her. Because the issue with trying to do those is you ask people and then they say yes and then they forget. So right. I asked her 3 months ago and she never did it. So I was like, well, while I'm with you, let me just knock it out. So it should be at the beginning of this episode. So shout out to Miss Lexi Gomez for giving us another intro to add into the rotation, I should say. So yeah, we will see you next week for episode 22. And that's it.
22.